good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. Welcome to today's edition of the Sattvic Toastmasters meeting. On behalf of the President of the Sattvic Toastmasters Club, Mr. Pramod, I am officiating as the presiding officer. I would like to welcome everybody as well as acknowledge the guest in the room. This is an exclusive education session by none other than DTM Raghu, and we are very fortunate to have this session. Apart from that, we have a wonderful TMOD for today, that's Shahid. And without any further delay, I would like to hand over the mic to Shahid. Over to you, Shahid.
Yeah, thank you, Vrunda. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. What a wonderful day. Here in Hyderabad, it's raining, so it's very cool and calm in the morning. So this is my first TMOD, and the weather also very cool, and it also added me as an advantage to keep myself cool and calm. So today we are having a wonderful education session. So why do we need an educational session? So it's very much needed. Why? Because so we will be keep on learning and we will be executing. To learn those things, we need some experts. We need their inputs. So during my education studies, I've just gone through a one small story. So playing a guitar, you can purchase a guitar and you start playing. So it will be like it will not be in a symphony. You can play as you wish, but if you went to any coach, so he will teach you how to do it and what to do first, what to do next. Then you will come with a good rhythm with your guitar. So these education sessions will be like that. So with that note, today's our educational uh, topic is flavors of impromptu speaking. So impromptu speaking is, as most of the Toastmasters know, it's a such a beautiful part of our Toastmasters, where you will be speaking spontaneously on the topic given. So this impromptu speaking is very much needed, helpful for our day-to-day lives also. In our offices, in our professional lives, and outside also, it is very much useful for us. Vrunda, shall I hand over to Raghu now? Or
Sure. Thank you, Shahid.
yep, over to you, Raghu.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Life is not a prepared speech, isn't it? We can go prepared, or rather we can go prepared for several moments. But is that we face situations where things are completely different, which makes us nervous on the spot, right? That's the problem. Whether it is the critical question that the other party would say us in, it can be anyone. It can be your spouse, it can be your children, it can be you as a teacher and their students who are asking you difficult questions. You in an interview, anywhere else, right? Those moments, should we go blind? Should we stop interacting, get nervous? No, right? That 1 to 2 minutes, our answer makes a difference. It can sometimes change your entire life. It can sometimes make a lot of difference. You might get promoted just because of that. You may win an interview. Sometimes you may win a contract. You may be able to present an idea before your certain audience and just get the funding for your business. How do we get to that? Today is not about any typical Toastmaster session. I will try to make it, rather generalize it with our lives, with our scenarios in our life, and we are also going to have some fun-filled table topic section, the impromptu speaking session, which is more related to our life, real life scenarios. Let's start with our asking about what does it involve? What does your impromptu speaking involve? Critical thinking, thinking on the spot, trying to answer the question. Same time, you need to think critical to be able to answer that, because sometimes, as I told, it makes a difference how you answer to a certain question. Second thing is organization skill. In respect to impromptu or prepared, you need to organize your thoughts into a process where you're able to deliver a proper message. Impromptu or prepared speech, end of day, the structure should be followed. What is the structure of a speech? Anybody wants to talk here? What is the structure of a speech?
It should have opening, body, and conclusion.
Wonderful. Opening, body, and conclusion. Rather, if I have to talk in a layman language, tell them what you're going to tell. Two, tell them. And the third part is tell them what you have told. Okay? You have an opening where you're addressing the audience, or setting an intro to what you're going to speak. And in the body, you're going to tell them the actual meat, hamburger. And in the end, you're going to conclude whatever you spoke for them to relate it. Right? It makes sense. So organization skills is what you are going to learn more with practicing your improv speaking. Third thing is thinking on toes. It's actually on toes, because many people go nervous. Even the experienced Toastmaster, experienced public speaker, they just go dumbstruck because of certain critical questions. So thinking on toes makes a lot of difference. Last is improve. You keep improving. Prepared speech needs preparation, but impromptu speaking is more like practicing. More you practice, more you improve. But the thing is, what you need to do is relate what went well, what could have been improved. And each time that you're attempting this impromptu speaking, if you go blindly and just keep attempting everything, it's difficult to improve. Improving is related to one of our core values, which is excellence. How we are going to do, you'll understand. This is one wonderful quote by Mark Twain. He says, "It takes me 3 to 4 hours to prepare for impromptu speech." It's more like sarcastic quote, I would say. So 3 to 4 hours is because what happens is most of the time when you attempt an impromptu speech or where you give a pitch, anything, you come back and then you think, I could have told that. I could have told this. You get into that guilt trap. And especially when somebody else is attempting that table topic, or rather impromptu speech, you think that topic should have come to me. I would have attempted well, right? Did you feel into that trap? I felt both, in both the traps, right? But that happens with everyone. That is that trap that we fall in. And that's a 3 to 4 hours, rather. You feel that sometimes it is for days. You feel that I could have done better. I could have done this, that. But the thing is, note those points down. Note those points down, and you can do much better next time. This is something evaluation criteria that I picked from a contest, table topic contest. But it made more sense to me when I relate it with normal life. Let me ask, I will stop sharing and then ask you, whenever somebody is speaking, what do you look at them? Whenever somebody is speaking, whether it is prepared speech or a normal impromptu speech, what do you look at them and how do you judge them? Okay, Kanika, go ahead.
According to me, what I think is that particularly hand movements and the gestures and the way of speaking with confidence and a positive attitude. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anybody else who want to answer?
Yeah.
The
So
con
Go ahead,
yeah.
Pratik, and then
Yeah.
Shahid.
Yeah. So I just see that like if the opening is like a little bit catchy, just first 5 or 10 seconds, if the opening is a little catchy, it grabs my attention, and like my heart tells me that okay, let's listen to this for 2 to 3 minutes because I should not miss it, because what is going to come up, something he is building in his opening, that it will make me listen to his speech for 3 minutes. That should I look at that thing first. First 10 seconds is making a difference or not. Then in the body I would like to if he's having some vivid story or maybe anything like that, then I listen to that, and what is the intent or content of that. If I'm getting something out of it, I will say that that speech or that impromptu speech is wonderful. Means if I'm getting out of it something which is good or new for my life. Yeah.
Okay. So if I conclude what you're told, it is something you should have a takeaway.
Yeah, takeaway. Absolutely.
That would make more sense to you when you are hearing
Yes.
something where you have a takeaway. Shahid?
Yeah, mostly Pratik has covered, Raghu, the content and intent and the takeaways.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Now, this is the criteria for,
Raghu, we have Diana's hand, so I think Diana wants to answer in the chat probably.
sure, go ahead. Diana's intention was sorry about that. Diana, do you want to participate in the table topics? Sure. We have table topics today. We will do that. I'll invite you to the table topics. Thank you. Now, I have not changed this evaluation criteria as is at a judge's ballot. And let us relate to that, okay? Your speech development and how smooth you use it organization. Now, what is a speech development? Anybody wants to answer? What is speech development? It's more like how you're progressing through your speech, right? Example, how you started, or how it is going. Now, how do you intend a speech line to be? If I'm going haywire like this, like this, like this, will you be able to relate? For example, let us say I'm talking about stars, then I start talking about some cattle, then I stop talking about a race, etc., etc., etc. You will not be able to relate, right? If I'm able to make statement where you can relate with what I'm speaking, that is my smooth speech development, where you will be able to relate, connect, right? The second thing is effectiveness. Effectiveness is my logic or my ability to stick to the topic, and I'm coming to that topic. And the third thing is how I'm entering, means how I'm entering into the topic. It might be how powerful. Somebody has already mentioned the moment that you have a catchy opening, people are with you. That makes a lot of difference, right? That adds to the effectiveness of how I'm speaking. So your opening lines makes a lot of difference, and the logic that you're using to what you are speaking of makes a difference. And sometimes directness based upon your logic. If you are there, people would love to hear that. For example, you're asked to talk about a product that you are selling. If you keep talking, I'm selling you this mobile phone, but it's cheaper than iPhone. It performs better than iPhone, blah, blah, blah. And I keep comparing about different brands. Will you buy my product? And in fact, if I go directly and say, my phone has so and so features, it has so and so details, it works well, one of the best pictures are taken from this phone, but You also compare with the market price. It's one of the competitive prices offered. Compare with iPhone and etc. It's one of the best, I would say. Now, which one will you prefer? The pitch. Anybody wants to answer? Which pitch is better for you? Come on, guys, let's make it interactive, not just me speaking.
Maybe the pitch which everyone can catch, that will be good, Raghu.
Exactly. The second pitch is where you are getting the direct details of my product, where I'm not running around the bush, not beating around the bush, but I'm going straight, direct to my product. And in the end, I'm summarizing, comparing the price instead of just beating around that, right? That makes a lot of difference. And third thing, somebody has already mentioned this, our physical attribute, which is our body language. Body language makes a lot of difference. My hand gestures, the way that I'm comfortable with the audience, which shows that I'm confident. When you see someone speaking confidently, you get assured, okay, I can rely and trust on this guy. Confident sellers or salesmen make more sales than people who are not confident. You yourself don't know your product well, and you are here to market is the question that the customer will pose, right? But if I'm confident and able to show you that through my body language, I'm beaming with the confidence in through my body language, especially my hand gestures and the way that I'm moving around, making you comfortable there, you start feeling better. Okay, I can trust, I can rely on him or her, right? It's everywhere. Even when you're presenting a proposal, even when it is that you was giving a session in your office, maybe that you're trying to buy a product in your company and trying to show different abilities of different products and trying to come to a conclusion which one to set up. People will start trusting you when you show that confidence. Next thing is voice. Voice, when it flows just like a river through the emotions, when you're able to fluctuate your voice modulation with the emotions that you have to convey, trust me, it will just be as the cherry on the cake. It adds more value to that. People will start flowing with you, right? They will bring all the attention most of the time, especially when you are online. People are multitasking. Trust me, if their video is off, they're multitasking. There's a general attitude because sometimes you're bored. Your mind wanders faster than anything else. They want to do that. Even when you go to physical meetings, you miss online meeting just because of that ability online where you can do multitasking, right? So here you bring back all the attention. Your voice plays the magic. Trust me, next time you try it, and then you will see the magic. Next thing is appropriateness. Appropriateness means sticking to the topic. And second thing is understanding the audience. If I don't understand the audience and I keep talking something else, most of the time, whether it is prepared or impromptu speeches, if you are talking some geekish language or geek language, will people understand you? If I am going to talk about Scrum Manager, if 50% of people here don't understand anything about IT, will you understand? No, right? So you need to understand the audience, try to understand them before even speaking. So appropriateness makes a lot of difference. First thing is your purpose that you're speaking, central idea, stick to that. Second thing is audience. You need to understand the audience and generalize or change your speech according to the audience. That will make a lot of difference. The last part of this is correctness. Correctness, I would also add the smoothness of how you speak, right? Smoothness makes a lot of difference, which is using less crutch words. Why do you call it crutch? Because you take the support of unwanted words to start your speech. Whereas these words should have been actually be relating or connecting your sentences or words. But you're using them to start, which is the false start. Second thing is you keep using them and people think that you are not confident. So try to make your speech smooth. How can you do that? How can you do that is take pauses where necessary, as necessary. And trust me, it does the magic of removing those crutch words or R's or N's, whatever they call it, and it'll make your speech smooth. When it comes to correctness, grammar plays a lot of difference. What I have observed, especially in the Asian countries, is people start translating into English from their mother tongue and their own language, which is why most of us talk in geekish language for other people to understand. So try to think in English and talk in English. When you are doing it and then you're correcting your grammar, people will start understanding you better. Sometimes when you improve your English, you'll also be able to convey a message in lesser words. Will also improve effective communication. Then your enunciation and pronunciation makes a lot of difference. I struggled, especially when I went giving speeches across the world in different countries. People were rather not me struggling. It was the people who were hearing me struggling to understand what I spoke. Right? It makes a lot of difference how we pronounce and announce these words. So you need to understand that you need to make it neutral for people to understand, especially your pronunciation. You need to understand the correct pronunciation. Select words which makes a lot of difference and people are eager to listen to. That doesn't mean that you have to pick up from Oxford Dictionary and start speaking some difficult words from that. No, make it simple for audience to understand. Trust me, if people keep saying I'm responsible for what I speak, not for what others understand, that's the stupidest thing, especially if you are a Toastmaster. You are responsible for each and everyone in the audience to understand. If you are not able to do that, it is declared that you failed as a speaker that day. You need to work upon that part most of the time. And how do you do that is making it smooth for people to understand, whether the words that you choose, whether it is the pronunciation, enunciation, or the clarity in language, or grammar, or appropriateness of what you are speaking. Okay? Any doubts, any questions on this? No? Yes?
So, Raghu, I have a question. When you are speaking to a general audience or a mix of audience, how do you take care of this? The speech, do you slow yourself down a bit more, or what's your tactic?
Okay. The two aspects of it. First thing is your rate of speech. Okay. Rate of speech is something that we all struggle with. I'm not being racist here, but is the struggle that is faced by most of the Asians. Is that our rate of speech is fast, especially Indians. We run like anything. I've seen even one few of my mentees who had a speech in the contest for 1100 words for 5 to 7 minutes. You can imagine the speed of that. I struggled with that when giving speeches across 143 countries. Then I learned how to control my rate of speech, my enunciation. And the third thing is understand your audience beforehand. Try to understand whether it is by observation or asking questions. Trust me, if you can do that, it becomes better. I'll narrate a story. I work for Bank of America, and then initially when I joined, we were developing an application, which is to revamp the current one that they were using, which was an older technologies. When it was time to replace it and talking to the business, we were talking on a geekish language, which was a more a technical thing, talking all those things. And when I went to talk business directly, they knew only business language and they were puzzled, flabbergasted. Why do we have to change to another application? The one that we were using for years, why do we have to even change? The conversation went for 30 to 45 minutes. Nobody understood anyone. It was more like Greeks were talking to Romans. And in the end, I had to close that meeting, call someone who understood both, and then we were able to finally do it. But don't you think that I failed that day as a speaker? I was not Toastmaster then, but I think when I can relate it back it now, saying that I was not able to understand my audience. If I would have, I didn't need the third person to come in between and then relate to both of us, right? You need to understand your audience. This makes a lot of difference when you give speeches, whether it's impromptu or prepared speeches. So I also faced a difficulty. So I can also relate to this. I had a speech where I was talking about Bollywood, just especially Indian. And then I had a speech which had some glitters from IT talking about agile life. So when I gave this speech about agile in one community club within India, they were not able to relate because 50% of them were not non-IT. And then I gave a speech in Malaysia talking about this Bollywood thing. They were not able to relate. They said, I didn't understand. I could not relate it today because we don't know about Bollywood, especially that movie from Hindi. I had to change. Then I changed it to a universal thing that they can relate it to a mentor, Kung Fu Panda. Then an agile thing, I changed it to another something that people can relate or make it talk in short about how people can relate it. Okay. You either change the context or talk in short about so that people can relate it within a short period. Okay. Makes difference. Now that's about that. And I'll take more questions in the end, but right now let us jump to how to move forward more. Now we understood different characteristics of a speech or an impromptu speech or a prepared speech. Now let's go a deep dive and see how we can do much better. Now, how many of you have ever drawn water out of a well? Raise your hand if you ever did. Yes, no? No. Okay. I come from a rural background where we used to have a well at my grandfather's place and we used to draw water. Okay. Now, how does okay, you might have not drawn water out of a well, but how do you think we fill the water in a well or a river or a pond? How do we fill that water? Unmute yourself. Let us make it interactive. How do we fill the water in a well or a river or a pond?
Rainwater.
Right, rainwater. Now, I would say your mind is the well. Your mind is the well of wealth, well of knowledge. Okay? Sorry. Diana, I know you want to answer. I'll get back to you in a later stage. Apologies. But right now, we need to rush to this. So we have this well, and the well is here. How do we fill the well? Is by this thing. Self-storage means your life experiences. Second thing is reading rituals. What are the reading rituals? Whether it is some magazines, articles, or books, or anything. Thing is looks. It means looks, you observe people, right? For example, let us say somebody is well built. You start looking, you start observing, or even if it is not that, when you keep observing people closely, you look at how they behave or what are their characteristics. anything, right? All that you keep looking and learning. Next thing is popular lines. Popular lines from movies, popular lines from some other famous quotes. It can be popular lines from anywhere that you have read, right? Quotations that makes an impactful opening. Then family history, something from your family. For example, your grandfather was a freedom fighter, or your grandfather, something like that. All the stories that you hear from your family. Next thing is your folklore that you keep hearing outside. The trivial things that you hear, the fact or myths or interests that you know. All these things, just like the rain that's outside in Hyderabad now, fills your well, well of wealth that's in your mind, okay? Which makes or which comes to a conclusion that you need to keep reading, you need to keep listening, you need to keep observing, which is building your well. Now that you are well, that you have your well full, how do you answer impromptu speaking? Now you see the Mark Twain statement makes sense. 3 to 4 hours of preparation for impromptu speaking. Rather, I would say in multiple years of preparation. When somebody asks you something, take time. Especially in Toastmasters, you are allowed up to 30 seconds. You can take time and then you can answer them. That time shows the people you are eager to answer. It also gives you time to structure, to draw the water out of this well. How do we draw water? Normally, in a well, we put a bucket, throw a rope, and then pull the water with a pulley. Just like that. Draw the water out of this well where you're pulling all that related information on that topic. And second thing is identify your strength, storytelling, or fact sharing, or whatever it is. You need to identify your storytelling and then use your style, use your strength, and use your knowledge and start structuring your speech. Does it make sense? Then you mix structure and then you can start delivering. Over a period, when you are practicing this, develop your style and use that style because it will make it smooth for you to deliver your speeches. Does it make sense to you? Are you able to relate it? Wonderful. Thank you. Now, we'll talk about few famous techniques. First technique is prep. Prep. Point, reasons, examples, and point. I ask you a question, then you can make a point. One thing that we must understand is it is not that you always will agree to the point. You can agree, disagree, or you can have a neutral opinion, or you can have some completely different opinion, but you should make that point. We talked about directness. Remember, directness will always have impact. So you can talk about it. Make that impact here, making your point. Once you make the point, give reasons. Why do you think, or why do you think about that point? Whether it is saying yes, no, correct, wrong, whatever it is. Give reasons for it. The next thing is example. Give example. Okay. And the third thing is conclude. It doesn't matter how, or rather that moment, whether you think you're able to do effective or not, but do not get into the guilt trap at that moment. Think on this point. For example, somebody said, is Earth flat or round? I would say Earth is flat. I believe that Earth is flat because it's based upon so many scriptures. If you talk about examples, I can relate to many. If Earth was flat, If it was round, the water should fall down. Why we are able to walk? When I keep walking on air, every time that I see is just a square thing. I never saw it spherical. I and my wife should not be able to walk properly. Then I conclude. So I think earth is flat. Was I able to convince you? Right? Making a point here. And then I give you reasons. Then I give you examples. Then I'm making my point. Prep method. Remember prep. Point, reasons, example, and point. This is also thing. For example, somebody asks you a question, an interview. Why should I hire you? Why should I hire you? You make a point. And then I give you reasons. I'm qualified. I have better qualification. And then I also give examples. There were several moments that I was able to help my previous organization. For example, and then talking about examples where you are done better. Then I think, and then you can also relate with the company. Then you say that. That's the reason I think that you should hire me on the spot. Makes sense to you? How this technique can be used? It can be used anywhere and everywhere. It all depends where you are able to customize based upon the topic that you are asked for. Next topic is 1 minute. Just a minute. Do we have questions here? I'm looking at a lot of chart. Okay, sorry. Next thing is pendulum. How does pendulum work? Can somebody answer me? How does pendulum work?
Moving from one corner to another corner and coming in between to the middle like that.
Right. Now, there are two methods which are going to discuss, and today we'll relate it to our again, real and professional, our personal and professional life. Pendulum method is where, how does it move? It moves to left, stays there, comes back, and then moves to other side and stays there, comes back, right? Now here, let us relate to a point. Your customer, your senior management in your company asks you to select in between two products. It can be software or anything for your company. How do you do that? Right? You start doing your research and then you come up with two products and you start explaining them. First product, talk about all that part. And then you also give your views. And then talk about second product, talk about your views. And then in the end, you need to choose one. Why? And you're talking about why. It can also be, for example, it can also be another scenario where on the same topic, you're talking about two different views, but you again have your own view that you're talking about. For example, let us say, I asked you about what is your opinion on corona vaccine? There are two different opinions across the world, right? You can talk about one which says it was a hoax, entire vaccine was a hoax, and what are they spoke about, and then you can also mention your view. Second is it was not. Then you can give all that thing, and then you can conclude saying about what is your overall view, which side you are taking. You need to take a side here. Remember this very well. You need to talk on what is the opinion on that, and then talk what is your view, and then it should be neutral view. And in the end, you are taking a stand. You should take a stand. That is necessary for in the pendulum. How does pendulum do? It has a stand, but it's just that it's giving chance to both sides. This is very important for you to understand. But there is another one, which is common balance. Common balance. What is the difference between both? Is that here, you're taking your neutral side. What is your neutral point? And then you're explaining both the views. Then again, you're coming to a neutral point. You are not taking any side. You are not taking any side and you're letting the other party take a decision. You're letting your audience decide, whether it is customers, senior management, and anyone. You're letting them decide. You're explaining both the views. For example, let us say that two software, Jam Scheduler and AutoSys, both of them are required to schedule some jobs in your computer with the server. Now, I am going to talk and say, I will let the audience decide. Both the products has their own advantage, disadvantage, and the cost that is included, right? I can mention that and explain both the views. Decide about AutoSys, decide about my Jam Scheduler. And in the end, I will conclude saying that both has their own advantage and disadvantage. And based upon that, I will let this management decide on that. Do I make sense here? Do I make sense? So this is your next point where you are letting your audience decide. This is the difference. In your last one, you are taking a stand, but here you are not taking a stand. Okay, next, let's go to this. This is something that's loved by your most of the management, and you also would love, right? Where you have a problem, you come up with a solution. How do you tackle a problem? How do you tackle a problem in your life? Can somebody answer? How do you resolve a problem? How do you resolve any problem in your life?
Think of the possible options, Raghu. We'll think of what are the available options, what is the most feasible option, and what is that we think is the right thing to do at that point in time. These are some of the things we consider.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. Anybody else?
Yeah. So whenever any problem is coming in front of me, I will try to relate it with whatever my experience on the similar things. And based on that, I will take a call how I should react to it and how I should solve it.
Thank you, Pratik. Kanika?
Yeah. So basically what I do is I use the reverse brainstorming technique in order to solve any problem. I try my level best to go upon the best reason, and I ask the questions in reverse sense so that I can move over that conclusion as fast as it is possible.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, before you're trying to solve a problem, first question to ask, is it a problem? Isn't it? Is it a problem? Second thing, you need to ask, what are the causes? This is, we do as part of our software development too, the root cause analysis. Or rather, we also need to do introspection, retrospection in our life. Trust me, when you do this as part of your life, whether it is personal or professional life, it will help you a lot if you are able to introspect and retrospect. Okay? Identify whether it is a problem or not. Identifying is something that you need to do. Next thing is cause. Identify what is causing it. Then find a solution. The solution is the next step, the third step, whether it is problem or not, and then causes, and then solution. This is exactly what the technique that you will use here. State the problem. What's the problem, my dear friend? And second thing is the causes, and then offer a solution. For example, talking about environment today. State the problem. What is the problem? Be very specific in the problem statement. The more specific you are, more people will be able to relate and can say there's a problem. If you say in general, or you're trying to generalize, people will not be with you. Vrinda, improve your communication. Now, Vrinda will say, what the heck? Which part of communication? My body language, or the way that I write, the way that I speak, or my impromptu speaking, or my prepared speech. if I keep saying, Vrunda, you're good at your speaking skill, but I want you to improve more on your impromptu speaking. I want you to improve your body language, something like that. Be specific on the problem statement. Then give causes, what might be causing it. If you are able to identify the causes, my dear friend, you will be able to solve most of your problems in life. Exactly same here. You are able to identify the causes. The audience is with you. In life, most of the people are trying to resolve one or other problem. By using this technology, trust me, you have won 50% of your audience. Their attention is with you. Stating the problem, be more specific as you can be. Then give the causes and then offer a solution. If you can identify problem, give causes and solution, my dear, you will be in line to your promotion at your workplace next time. Trust me. Trust me. Our HR is smiling here, Brenda, and she knows that that's a technique that you can do. Right? Now, any questions still here? Any questions?
Raghu, you told about different approaches, right? So how
I
do we
cannot
decide?
hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
I was saying you spoke about different approaches, right? So when we actually give the speech, how do we decide which one to go for, or it varies from topic to topic, or we should stick to one of them?
Right. You need to see, I told you. Rather, let me go back to my slide here. This slide here, where we talked about here, right? Develop your
We
style.
need to share.
I'm sorry. Right. Develop your style. Develop your style. This is where it comes. And also, it might be related to the topic. Related to the topic that you are taking. For example, somebody asks you to talk about two software. Rather, I want you to come with a research. Navya, research on the best software that we can use for so and so. And you need to present something by a week, right? What do you use? Tell me what technique that you can utilize from here.
I'll research about both the products. What are their?
And not both the products. Both the products is something. There may be several products, but you might be giving 2 or 3 options. You might come with 2 or 3 actions. And what is the technique that you'll use? Either of the 2, pendulum or balance, right? Balance is where you're letting the audience decide, and the pendulum is where you have a strong opinion on about thing, right? And then next thing is your timeline method. Tell me something about yourself. Tell me something about yourself. Now, don't take pictures. I'll give you the complete presentation itself. Be here with me on this. Somebody asked you a question in the interview. Tell me something about yourself. Are you trying to break ice? You're trying to talk to strangers. So I know your mother told you not to talk to strangers, but most of the time we are strangers. We don't know each other, but you're trying to introduce ourselves, breaking that ice. How do you do? Is this timeline, right? Timeline. That is where I was born so and so place. My childhood was like this, my school life, my college life, and blah, 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 everything. Most of your icebreakers are like this, right? And then you talk about present, why I joined Smash, and future, what you want to become, what are your hobbies, and etc., right? You talk on that on your icebreaker. We also talk about this in your interviews. Tell me something about yourself, right? We start talking about, I started my career working in so and so company and blah 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 and everything, and then you come to present, and then what are your future goals? And then you try to relate it to that company. I think I can achieve my goals with so and so company. That makes a lot of difference. This is time then. Trust me, this makes a lot of difference, and if you can utilize this, will make a lot of difference. Somebody is asking you to talk about trends, fashion trends. Past, my grandfather and father used to have this fashion trend. We are using this, and future it can be anything. People may come back like cavemen and start just using the leaves. You never know. Talking about the future trend, and then you can, but you need to conclude as well. But if the fashion trends is up to the taste of the people and changes time to time, it depends upon the people. It also depends upon the place, everything. So we cannot say that this fashion is everlasting or long lasting. It all depends upon the taste, place, and also mood of the people. Right? It also depends upon the condition like economy. So try to conclude that. Makes sense, right? Remember, timeline method is one of the most effective thing. And also you will be able to keep people with you throughout this when you're using timeline method because they can relate to you. And they're with you because you are going in a sequence. Right? Able to relate? Now, we'll stop here and ask question. Before I go to question and answers, I'll also mention one more technique is where you go in sequence, especially if I start talking about example, let us say that I want you to talk about a certain topic. Now you need to switch to different places, especially when you are speaking. For example, I say we're talking about cold weather. I start talking about how it is like in Hyderabad, then I start talking about Kashmir, then I start talking about Switzerland, something like that, where I'm going to different, you see the geography is increasing here. Just like the timeline method, the geography is also increasing where I'm going from a small city till a place like Antarctica. Just after talking about the cold weather. So this also makes a lot of difference, how this your geography is increasing, right? But you need to go in the incremental method, not coming like in the wrong way. These people will be able to relate it when you're going in the incremental geography like level. So this makes a lot of difference, just like the timeline. That's overall some of the techniques that I have learned and applied and saw the effectiveness. One thing remember, I would keep saying it, repeats this, that relate what you are learning in Toastmasters to your real life. The second thing is build your confidence, keep practicing how you have done before, how you are doing now, and how you want to do in future. Keep maintaining that record, your growth. You're able to follow that, then you will be able to grow yourself and become a better version of yourself. I'll conclude here and wait for some questions from you. Lisa.
Yeah, so you had mentioned that the reason my video camera was off is that I'm multitasking. I'm just letting you know I am not multitasking, but I am in bed and I'm not really presentable. So it's late here. And when you got in touch with me, I was already ready for bed. So my question to you is, I loved your slides. I loved your presentation. I'd like to know the source for your slides.
I got this information, collected this based upon my experience and also based upon some content I found over internet on this technique, especially when to get this, especially writing details, discussion on that. And this was more relatable to what we do in our professional life, especially I found this as part of my working. I have about 20 plus years of corporate experience. I faced most of this situation where we had to use one of other technique. And I was able to relate to it well when I came and faced this in Toastmasters. I'll be able to share the slides with you too.
Great. Thank you so much. It was really, really a great presentation. I've got another question. I don't want to hog the mic, but I was very interested in the lifestyle, this Stasic, I'm not sure how to say it.
Sattvic.
Sattvic lifestyle, and it doesn't seem like we're focused on that right now. Tonight we're more focused on how to give a table topic.
Right. Sattvic lifestyle is more about, it's based upon what is the best way to do, how to lead your life better, whether it is mental health, physical health, anything. It all depends upon that. It's based upon a principle called 16-8, which is 16 hours of intermittent fasting, and how you can fast better and how we, what do you say, detoxifies your body. There are several things that are related to it, maybe a discussion for some other day, and it is not related to this topic today. This was just to have some fun session after our education session today. This was meant to just have fun. Otherwise, we do have either sessions by doctors or we doing sessions on that part. Probably looking at the previous videos and also experience of our members can help you. Maybe I would extend a hand so that we do a joint meeting and where we can relate to each other's, whether it is about kidney, liver, or any part of the body, how we can improve our health matters. And that is done in Sattvic Toastmasters and Sattvic lifestyle, where, for example, if somebody has gallbladder stone, that can be removed without any operation. There are some techniques in this.
Great. Well, thank you. Keep inviting me because I'd like to be part of more of the conversations on the Sattvic lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you. Please leave your email ID. I believe I didn't have from the message. I'll keep you in the guest room. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana has mentioned, nice job on your slide, Shai, with eye contact and the screen computer. I think that you speak value and powerful response from the audience. Clap the hands. I know how the speech contest, how I do the speaker, how to dictate people with use chat bags in my answer. Wonderful. You're doing great job, Diana, every time. And I think by little structure of what you speak, you can do much better. You can do work upon it, keep practicing, keep growing. And Navya.
Raghu, am I audible?
You're audible. Go ahead.
How to give an impromptu speech on topic which you are not at all familiar or very less familiar with?
Okay. Now, if you look at what I've given slide, let me share it. Okay. Now, this may not make sense in your professional life, but it makes sense in at least in Toastmasters, right? If you look at this criteria, your appropriateness is just 10%. Does that give you some clue? Okay. There was a student and he prepared for an essay on cow and he didn't prepare for anything else. When he went to write the exam, the essay was on aeroplane. He started writing this. I started my journey going to so-and-so city. So I got into an aeroplane and it started flying. And I looked up down from the mirror and I saw a cow. A cow has 2 horns. We can milk the cow and blah, blah, blah. He continued. Okay. You can always relate it to something that you know and start speaking on that. Sometimes the appropriateness not make a difference. Sometimes in Toastmasters, most of the time in Toastmasters, what makes a difference is were you speaking or not, able to answer the question on the spot or not. Try to do that. And when you keep practicing, then you can start relating it. But in real life, it might not make sense because people will think that you're bluffing, you're trying to talk nonsense. Trust me, the people will believe that. So what you can do is still try to relate it to what you know, or just can simply say, I don't know. I don't know about this. Or maybe I can come back. That will make more sense in your professional life or rather in your entrepreneurship journey. But in Toastmasters, the appropriateness is just 10% because the whole essence is for you to speak. Right? One more technique that you can use in your speeches, whether it is prepared or impromptu speeches, is asking rhetorical questions. Example, I remember this one contest which I've won is the question was the door is open, and I kept asking which door are we relating? Is it the door for freedom? The door for inclusiveness? And I kept asking and answering, kept asking, answering, kept asking, answering. And I won that contest that night. Right? So this question makes a lot of difference. Keep asking rhetorical questions too. That you also you can utilize in your speeches. Any more questions?
Yeah, maybe it's not a question, Raghu. Very good analogy and wonderful session. Like I thoroughly enjoyed your session today.
Thank
Even
you,
I
Chandra.
didn't wanted to deviate. That's the reason I was not on camera, but nothing else. Like so, it's not. I
No.
was fully focused. Like
No, I was giving a general statement, not pinpointing at anybody. Sorry, Lisa and Chandra, if you felt like that. That was generic something. At least the problem with me, I have some signs of ADHD, especially my attention just keeps deviating. So,
thank you.
and I observe a few people also do that, which is why I said, but it's nothing about pinpointing at few questions. Few people, sorry. Any more questions? Okay, if no other questions, let's have some fun. And today I want you to show flavors of impromptu, and we'll have some improv games. Okay, flavor
Raghu,
relating. Yes, Shai, go ahead.
before the session, shall we introduce the tag team?
Tag team will come in the end after we complete the session. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Apologies for that. Vrinda, can you, Shai, go ahead and then introduce your tag team.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Raghu, for your educational session and enlightening us with this impromptu speaking. So there is so much ahead in the coming time. So before that, we will introduce our crew, tag crew. So the T stands for the timer. So today's timer is Anthony. So Anthony, can you please explain your role?
Yeah, good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. My role assignment this evening will be to take note of the times of the speakers this morning or evening. So I will be giving the table topic speakers 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will display the green. At 1.5, the yellow card, and the red at 2 minutes with 30 seconds basically to round off. And Distinguished Toastmaster Raghu, what about the evaluation? How much minutes?
We don't have evaluation. It will be just table topics, 1 to 2 minutes.
All right, so thank you. That will be all. And closer to the end of the meeting, I will give a report. Thanks. Back to you, Toastmaster Shai.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Thank you for explaining us. And the next role is arc counter. And today, Vrunda is our arc counter. Vrunda, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shahid. As an R counter today, my job is to spot the filler words while you're talking. So it could be something like, well, so, and even some pauses, such as short and long pauses. And I will give my report towards the end of the session when called for. And with that, back to you, Shahid.
Yeah, thank you, Vrunda. And the last role is grammarian role. So today our grammarian is Navya. So Navya, please explain your role.
Good morning, everyone. As part of my role as grammarian today, I'll be the word of the day, which is ameliorate, which stands for to improve. So I will encourage all of you to use the word ameliorate in your table topics. Additionally, I would also be looking at the good usage of grammar in your table topics and not so good usages, and I will present my report towards the end of the meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you, Navya. Yeah, what a session we had from the DTM Raghu on the impromptu speaking. Till now, we heard this we have to do, that we have to do. But now the time has come to put those things into the practice. Now we are having flavors of impromptu speaking. So I will hand over the virtual stage to Raghu to take it the flavors of impromptu speaking. Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you. Diana is requested to keep the word of the day in the chat. Request grammarian to do that, Vrunda. Thank you. Navya, sorry. Ameliorate. We need to improve. The purpose of life is to ameliorate. So we'll do that as part of this improve session. Improv, not improve. So let's start the fun by these flavors. Who wants to try first? I need 2 people for my first session. Who wants to go? Kanika and then Jay Kumar. Jay, keep your videos on.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Can somebody help me spotlighting them? The timer also. Timer, Kanika and Jay. Anthony, Kanika and Jay. Pen spotlight. I think nobody just. Jay, I'm making you co-host. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, Vrinda, you can also help. Yeah. Wonderful. Now let's go back to topic.
Who else? You said Jay, right?
Anthony, yeah. Anthony and then Jay, right?
Okay.
Jay. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Now let's try what is the flavor that you'll use when it is time to debate.
When it is time to
debate.
Debate. Okay.
Okay. Now let us say, okay, we'll try the simple question that we keep arguing every time. Now Kanika has to mention that men are right, and Jay has to argue that women are right.
Women are right.
You should argue that women are right, and Kanika has to argue that men are right. 1 to 2 minutes of time. Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3, start. Anthony, please note this 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, let's start.
So, Kanika, going with the topic, I would request that ladies first, and you should start your argument.
Yeah, thanks, Jay, for giving me this opportunity. Regarding the argument that men are right, like in my concern that today, like the world is not being completely changed, but yeah, somewhere the thing is that male dominance is somewhere pointing. Like in the IT sector, also somewhere I feel that as far as placements are concerned or whatever, like male dominance is somewhere I see, especially in my opinion. So yeah, according to me, this should not be there. Like some amendments should be made um in order for the for the best outcomes. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Kanika. Your observation is partially right, but I would not fully agree. If you look at the corporate world today, many important positions and even in leadership positions, women are there. And I feel that women are good leader, better leader. They can have an empathetic approach and better listening to the people. And few of the functions like HR, human resources, they can understand and relate better with the various team members and various different teams, and they can provide a better solution. So keeping the balance would be a better approach, and that up to certain extent, what I feel
in many areas and many careers we have achieved. Only the jobs which will require the muscle power, like building, like masons are there who are building uh, the houses, all this kind of work, construction work. There, I think men are there in a more proportion, but that doesn't mean that there is a no power to women. In most of the corporate world, you see women are also equally catching up, and even we see them more in the leadership role even.
But
Yeah, over to you, Pranit.
yeah, Jay, but right now you mentioned, but women need to put their 110% in order to achieve that post, but the men just need to put their even 100 or so-called 90%. And as far as you said that the thing is that in the constructions and muscle power, today women are not at all, back in this task, because they equally can, even if they get this opportunity, they can uphold that particular field, and they can, I believe that they can do much better than men, but somewhere they should be given even a chance. They should be given even a chance. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anthony, if you show time card, it was just 1 to 2 minutes. Thank you very much, Kanika and Jay Kumar. I'm going to replay spotlight. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. What do you think? Yeah, it is just 1 to 2 minutes, with respect to the topic that we are giving, not for each one. Now, Anthony, and anyone in the room, what do you think that could have been better in this conversation? Come on, guys. You're not judging. You are trying
Yeah.
to
I
evaluate.
think
Yeah.
the topic given was men are right, or should be the one person, like should be portraying for that, and women are right is one thing which we should be portraying. But the discussions went like, say, more of the dominance, like, or like what is happening in a certain sector, right? Like, so is what I understood.
Okay, Shahid?
Yeah, I too agree with Chandra. It should be just an argument between men are right and women are right, but it is just like in the dominance perspective it went. So as it is an argument, we can make some small statements instead of taking that much long time, so that it should be a good argument. So
Anyone else?
like that.
I felt the debating spirit was missing.
Right.
That energy in both the speakers.
Right. So it was just more like a discussion, not the debate I expected. Right? The heat was missing. But anything, but thing is, they missed the appropriateness of the topic. Now, Kanika was to spoke on men were right, or men are right always. But she spoke on woman being, or rather men dominating women in workplace, even in IT background. And then, but Jay was defending that, which was completely opposite of what was given, right? They were supposed to talk on women are always right. I really love the way that you opened it by giving the opposite to Kanika, saying that first woman should be first. But then in the end, went off the topic. It should be debating, not discussing. So I want you to try that next time any debate option comes. So we'll try more techniques. So Manoj, you have raised your hand. Manoj, are you a Toastmaster? Are you?
Yes, I'm from Chalk and Dosters.
Okay, wonderful. Manoj, I want to give you one technique called switch, where you need to talk on a topic, and I say switch, you need to change your argument. Switch, come back to your argument. Switch, go back. Okay, you need to change based upon as soon as I switch. Is it okay, Manoj?
Yes.
It's Manoj, not Chandra. Sorry. Manoj. Okay? Got it? So, Manoj, I'll give you a very simple topic. I love Toastmaster meeting. Toastmaster Manoj, I love Toastmaster meeting.
I love it. That's why I'm here. Today morning, after taking a walk, I opened my mobile phone to see if something is going on around the world, and I found it and entered this meeting to learn something to grow. So this shows my love, this shows my passion. Once you're passionate about something, Toastmasters, mastering toast. I remember 7 years back, I saw Toastmasters, the banner displayed in one of the small huts in a lit fest. I went over there with the thought, yes, let me toast life. But they told me, would you like to participate in a debate competition? Yes, that debate competition changed my life. If I'm speaking to you today, if I'm able to, what? Debate. Why should I debate? It's a self-debate, debating every day in the corporate sector. In my professional life, I get fed up. But it is all improvement. I'm growing every day, every second. And this makes me happy. And I can see the, oh, how do I go on and on? This makes my life miserable. So much of Toastmastering. Yesterday I was there in my club. Today I'm here. I think this is getting on my nerves. But getting on that knob makes me happy, makes me smile, and I can make all of you smile. I think that proves why Toastmaster is great.
Wonderful. I like your attempt. So anybody who wants to speak, go on and give feedback for Chandra. Diana, I gave you a topic on the chat. Please attempt that. Please give feedback to this speech by Chandra.
Raghu, I wanted to try out like, okay, it's not for feedback. I thought I'll volunteer as a speaker as well for any topic.
Mano, I'm sorry, I confused with the name. So please give feedback for Mano's speech.
Yeah, it was well attempted, Manoj. So the switch was good. So you have taken the words in the same against and for. So that was good part.
Thank you.
And even I noticed the same. Say what I felt was how much Manoj loved Toastmasters was explained, and his passion for why he was searching for the club meetings like every day. So I think like most of us like who wanted have the same spirit. That's the reason like we are there today 7 a.m. in the morning in India time. So that's one thing great, like say, which I am correlating what Manoj was expressing. So I co-express along with you, Manoj. Thank you for that.
Thank you for the feedback. Diana has done a topic. She said that she think Toastmaster ameliorate long time. I had a lot of practice. Speech this Toastmaster club with my disability stronger with chat backs answer ameliorate. I know about Toastmaster, the growth for speakers inside, powerful, and that's Diana. Diana, thanks for that attempt. Did you raise your hand, Kanika? Did you have
Yeah,
something?
I want to mention, can I?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, Manoj, yeah, it gives me a ameliorate aspect in order to, because I too tried this task in the back meetings, and yeah, this task is quite because it's too difficult because when you switch over the topics, you are like, sorry, when you switch over the pros and cons and pros, it's like it's become tough and tactic for you to think upon impromptu. So yeah, I'm too much inspired from this. Yeah, thanks a lot. Best wishes.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Kanika. Manoj, I would say that you were able to track the Swiss thing. You kept tracking it that you're for our opposite, because as I've seen in a physical meeting that people lost track of whether they was talking on for or opposite after some time. So you did that well, and then in the end, you concluded it for people to see the value. That's the best thing that you did. Anybody wants to try next? This will be a role play. Who wants to come forward? I need 2 people for this role play. Chandra, you raise your hand. I know. Who else want to go with Chandra? Chandra is here. And who else? Anybody else want to try?
Raghu, I can try.
Okay, done. Please spotlight Navya and Chandra and Anthony. Okay, Chandra is the father and Navya is the daughter. Okay, and the daughter wants to go for a party in the late night, but Chandra, as a strict Indian father, he doesn't want to allow. Now Navya's duty is to convince her father, Chandra, and Chandra's duty is to convince Navya not to. We'll see who will win. Role play. Okay, let me spotlight for that. Spotlight and then add spotlight. Anthony, add spotlight. Wonderful. Anthony, it's again 1 to 2 minutes only. Okay, overall 1 to 2 minutes, not per each. Now 1, 2, 3, start.
Hello,
Now,
Father.
yeah,
Hello.
please. Maybe
Yeah,
you go
hello,
ahead
Father.
first.
Today I have a friend's birthday party, so I would like I want to go for like we have a small dinner planned in the night and then followed by cake cutting. So I want your permission so that I can go have some fun with my friends.
Navya, I know that like I respect your opinion, but however, I'm occupied with my work today, so it's not possible for me to take. And you know that the situations are not so bright outside, right? So I don't want you to go alone. I request, why don't you wish your friend and then stay at home? So that will be very good to do today.
I can take the driver along with me and maybe he can drop me and pick me up when I call him.
No,
might be
Navya, I know that it will be good that your friend will be happy seeing you there. But again, your safety is the first priority for me. And you know that situations are not good. And recently the incidents happened, and that I don't want you to travel. But why don't you find the alternative options of wishing your friend and then have a Zoom call and wish them, participate in that. And anyway, like you will be meeting them tomorrow morning. So why don't you try that one?
Please, Father, actually my friend, she's leaving for US tomorrow early morning and for her higher study she's going, and this might be the last time I might be meeting her, and all of us are gathering and we are going to have some fun, and soon our college is going to start, so we might not get this time again.
Yeah, sure, Navya. Like, why don't we make it in some other day where I will be taking you personally and you can spend good time with your friend, and probably it will be safe for me to pick you and then take back home, Navya. So why don't you consider that? I agree that like it will be good thing for you to be part of that physically. However, since the situations are not good and then even I am occupied with my work and I will not be comfortable sending you alone. So I want you to consider. So please do think of it. I think time is up. Is it fine?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Does that happen like that in actual life? It would have been a heated conversation. I was expecting some masala there, but that's fine. Maybe next time. Okay. Good attempt for both of you. We'll try one more improv game. This is more like this. I will make a statement. Then I ask everyone to participate here. Okay, I'll call you. And then my last word will be your first word. Keep it very simple. 10 to 15 seconds only. Do not try to make larger statements. One statement using the previous speaker's last word as your first word. Okay, I say it's raining here. You can start saying here. What do you mean? Where are we? Something like that. Okay, it can be a question, it can be a statement, or anything. The last speaker's last word will be a first word, rather the word that you will start statement with. I agree with Murunda, polite father and daughter. Both of them are too polite, or rather on the screen. I wonder which Chandra will be so polite to his daughter, or Navya will be so polite to her father. But it's time. Well, let us see. Maybe next time. Okay. I'll make a statement here. East or West, you are the best. Vrunda.
How long we have to speak, Raghu?
Any time, 10 to 15 seconds, just to make a statement.
Okay.
My last word is your first word.
Best Toastmasters club ever. I'm liking it because I'm getting to laugh so much, learn so much, and also improve my health. So I love it. And it is really a good club. Club.
Next time, make smaller statements. It, Anthony.
What was the last word, sir?
It. IT, it.
Yeah. It is a great thing to be a member of Sattvic Toastmasters Club, where we come every Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are, you're located.
Located, Navya.
Someone else can take it. I'm not getting it.
Yeah, Raghu, located. Location is the place where we stay. If you see, we are all located in different places, but now we are connected together.
Together,
Yes.
Chandra.
Yeah, always together we can achieve more.
No. First word.
Together we can achieve more. My dear
More.
friend.
Kanika.
More of us are here to learn something or the other.
Other, Jai Kumar.
Other than learning about Sattvic lifestyle, we are also learning how to speak well.
Well, Sundar. You're on mute.
Well, I've been added to this meeting. I'm learning a lot from you all people. I'm new to this world. Thank you very much.
Much, Lisa. Very much, at least much. You can use anyone.
Much appreciation to all of you for having me here tonight.
Tonight, Anuradha. No problem. Coming back to Vrinda, tonight.
Tonight I've learned so much. Difficult to sleep.
T, Anthony.
Speaking is something that we do often in Toastmasters, and it helps us to develop our communication skills.
Skills, Shahid.
Yeah, skills are very much needed for every person. So to ameliorate in our life.
Life, Chandra.
Life is beautiful.
Beautiful, Kanika.
Beautiful. Please switch it to someone.
Jai Kumar. Beautiful.
Beautiful, it will make you if you follow the Sattvic lifestyle, apart from making you healthy, because it has been proven that if you follow intermittent fasting and if you also reduce the glucose consumption, it will improve your skin. It will improve your skin. It will improve your skin.
Skin, Sundar. You're on mute. Please keep yourself unmuted.
Yeah. Skill is what we need a lot in growing India, and together we grow.
Grow, Lisa.
Grow alone or grow together, we all grow as well as we can and together we get stronger.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Lisa. That's the DTM, of course. Guess what? We all did well. This game is an improv game, which is meant to, you saw two aspects of it. One is listening to the other speaker. This is very important for you in Toastmasters. When you keep listening, you improve your active listening and also staying alert in the meeting. This will help you to grow as a leader too. Trust me, if you're not listening to your team, you're not listening to people, people will not appreciate that. Because 50% of a problem is solved for a person when somebody listens to them. Trust me. And you will grow as a leader, as a manager well in your professional life if you are able to listen to people. People will appreciate you even as a co-worker if you listen to them. Next time, notice that. The second thing is criticality, the critical thinking. On the spot, picking up that word and starting with that makes it needs a lot of ability. Most of you were able to do, and we can do better on this. That is critical thinking. You are able to show that today. Thank you very much for attending this session and also participating in these flavors of impromptu speaking session. I hope you have learned something that you can take back to your life. Remember, Toastmaster is not a magic lamp where you can rub and get it. It all depends on whether you're practicing. If you keep making excuses that I have something else and you do not prioritize Toastmaster learning, you cannot improve. Join as many meetings as possible. Go across different clubs, different countries, and try to explore yourself as a speaker. And you improve yourself and become a better version of yourself. Remember, competition is just with you. What you were yesterday, what you are today, and what you will be tomorrow. With that note, I give control back to our Toastmaster Shahid.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raghu. So thank you for helping us to becoming better version of ourselves. So definitely the theory part was good, and the flavors of the impromptu speaking was very much interactive and enjoyable for every member, I think. So with this note, we will just, and I will say a big woe to Raghu for today's session. And with this, we will go for a report of our today's tag team. So I will ask Anthony to give the report on the timer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shahid. For our prepared speakers, Toastmaster Kanika and Jakuma, I have a total of 3 minutes and 1 second. For Toastmaster Manoj, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Toastmaster Navi and Chandra, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. I did not record the last session. So that basically my report. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Shahid.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Thank you for your detailed report on each aspect. And now it's the time for our counter report. Vrunda, over to you.
Thank you, Shahid. My job was very easy. DTM Raghu created a miracle today. He kept us so busy with finding out new words that nobody of us, I think, use the like the ahs and ums. And so I have a nil report to present, and it's a pleasure to do that. Back to you, Shahid.
Yeah, thank you, Vrunda. Thank you with that report. And now comes our grammarian report. It will, as the today's word ameliorate, it will definitely ameliorate us in our lives as well. So over to you, Navya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shahid. As Vrunda also mentioned, the topics and the table speeches were very interactive and interesting. So for the word of the day were used by Kanika, Raghu, and Shahid once. Back to you, Shahid.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Even today, word of the day is just not sticking to our session. So definitely we will ameliorate these things in our conversations, this word. So today overall a wonderful session on the impromptu speaking. And Raghu, shall we take any feedback from the guests now?
Oh, thank you. I'll stop recording and then we can take it.